Hello, everybody. I'm Mel Doerr, the Aloha Shirt Psychic, and welcome to my YouTube channel, Aloha Tuesday. And we've got the one, the only Arthur in the house.
Hello. Happy New Year. I haven't talked to you since the beginning of the new year.
It's been a year since we talked. Happy New Year. I'd like to say thank you to Aiden because he is the man behind the scenes pulling all the strings tonight. So he's moderating, and thanks to all of our moderators. He's also starring questions. So tonight we're going to answer political events, domestic events here, things abroad. I have been busy all day, first break I've gotten, so I have not watched the news. So before we went on our show, I asked Arthur and Aiden to give me a brief rundown. We're going to talk about that. So hello, everybody. I want to say Becky Gilberto sent me the nicest message. She said, Mel, I know you've been sad, and let's go have a drink of bourbon. That wouldn't be bad. I have been sad only because of the death in the family, and to see somebody you love having their heart ripped out with grief. But, I don't think that the people who pass over into spirit want us to be sad. They understand that we grieve, but they want us to carry on with life. So I'm trying to get it to life as usual. But I'm sad because of this whole Trump thing. But we'll get through it, you all. We're going to feel a lot of emotions. So having said all that, Arthur, what's been going on with you?
First of all, I saw Kevin is in the house.
Hi, Kevin.
I want to acknowledge him. Because when we were in Chicago, he was like, you got to start doing live shows, just yourself. And so that's what I started doing this year. I did my first live solo show for subscribers, and I said, and if it goes bad, it's all Kevin's fault.
Well, thank you, because you just gave me an idea, because I need to start doing some live shows on my own. As long as I got somebody behind the scenes to pull the strings.
Yeah.
Right?
But I just want to say thank you, Kevin, for that.
I'm going to start doing some things. I'm going to start doing some things for my members as well. Are you talking about Kevin Chandler or Kevin Lewis?
Kevin Chandler. Kevin Chandler.
Because there's two Kevin.
Oh, I know. In fact, I'm also doing, I counted my calendar. I have 16 shows I'm doing this month.
Oh, good.
Yeah. And doing good collabs. I'm doing Linda on Thursday, and then I have my member show and other things. But I've also got some faceless videos in the works.
Some what?
Faceless videos, like the winter solstice ritual,
cool.
Where it was just a voiceover and pictures. So
yay. I'm getting back to getting into my YouTube show. I asked Linda if it would grow, and she goes, you got to do shows. So,
yeah.
But I took a while off because of the death in the family, but I'm back, and I'll be doing a lot more shows. My goal was to hit 30,000 subscribers by end of February, so I think I'll get there.
You will.
And my goal is to hit 50 or 60,000 before the end of this year. So I'm going to be working hard.
My goal it was 15 for the end of the year, but it didn't happen. A little election had something to do with that.
So, yeah, right.
Things down on hold. But no, moving forward.
So do you think I'll hit 50 by the end of the year, Arthur? What do you think?
You? Yes. Me? I'm hoping for 15.
Oh, you'll get to 20, 25, easy.
Oh, good. Then they don't have to card me anymore.
All right. Are we ready to get started?
Yes. Oh, thank you, Yvonne.
Yvonne Jansky says, hi, Arthur. Are you okay and safe with the horrific Palisades fire? My ex-boss lives in
Calabasas,
thank you, in Carla, and he said they are safe for now. I live in San Francisco, so just Quake City, but LA has this. So I haven't watched the news. I stayed in over the weekend because it was so cold here, and I just made sourdough bread and cooked because that was therapeutic for me. So what's going on with the fires? I haven't heard.
They have 200 acres in the Pacific Palisades area.
Is that near LA? I don't know where that.
It's near Santa Monica. It's not too far from the ocean. So, but they've already evacuated houses and evacuated people. But for the fires to get to me, it has to go through Westwood, then all of Beverly Hills, because I live where the poor people live. And but then like I was telling a friend, I know cardboard, it catches on fire real fast, but I already put everything in the shopping cart. Never mind.
There you go. Okay. Well,
Thanks for asking. I'm fine. I'm safe. Thank you.
Nora Garcia says, hello, Arthur and Mel. Does Jimmy Carter have a message for us? Well, right when he crossed over, I did a show with Linda, and he came through actually and told me pretty much what Lincoln had told me when I visited Lincoln's tomb, and that was our democracy will survive, justice shall prevail, and our union will hold. So Jimmy Carter is going to be working from the other side to try to stop Trump with a lot of the shenanigans he's going to try to pull. And so, this is not like the America that he had envisioned, but he's saying that our voices need to be heard. But it was funny. I was watching a YouTube show last night. I just discovered it's really cool. It's called Yes Theory. And I think everybody should check into it. And there's something they say over there. It says love over fear. So I think, that's his message too, when we see the divisiveness is going on, the anarchy and the chaos, to speak up. We have the right to peaceful protest. But send the message of inclusive love and caring, but still to speak out against injustice, just as he did. And, we will get through this, and people like Trump ultimately will not succeed. They will have their downfall. He assures me of that. That's what I pick up. What do you think, Arthur? Or when I say, what do you think? I mean, what do you see? What do you intuit?
Yeah, when we say, I feel this, I feel that means coming from outside ourselves, really.
It means coming from psychic ability. People
say, or whatever.
One day, what do you think? And somebody said, not what you think, what do you predict? And
I think you're crazy. No, when he passed, I meditated on it, and it was his voice, I swear, but it also came through with FDR words of there's nothing to fear but fear itself. It's gonna be fearful. That's what I kept on hearing.
I'm gonna get a t-shirt made of what came through to me when I had cancer. Don't let the fear stand in front of us and hold us back. Let it get behind us and push us forward.
Yeah.
With Trudeau resigning in Canada, my advice to Canadians is let your voices be heard. Be very, very, very careful. Be diligent, because the same thing in Canada, if you're not careful, the same thing that happened here will happen in Canada if Canadians aren't diligent and stand up against these ultra right-wing leaders, this tyranny.
Speak up.
That's right. With Trudeau resigning, at least maybe he resigned enough time to keep the ultra conservatives out of power in Canada. I see coming here a leader that's going to come forward, who's going to be for the Dems, who's going to be very charismatic, very fiery, and will fight lies and misinformation with facts and truth. Right. And it's going to be somebody who's very fiery, very charismatic. And I see the same thing in Canada. Obviously, they're going to have their ultra right-wing leaders who are fiery and mouthy, but I'm seeing somebody coming for Canada who will also be very charismatic and very truthful and honest and not xenophobic. So, Canada, please, please, please speak up, because what happened here can very easily happen to you. And that's a message from Spirit.
Right.
Hello, Peggy Jean says, Why does Trump want to annex Iceland? Minerals, strategic military benefit to Russia, oil and gas. All of the above.
You took the words right out of my mouth. You don't need to be a psychic to know this one.
Well, I think he's making, deals behind the scenes with, that, oh, we'll get the mineral rights, we'll get this, we'll get that, we'll help Russia, all the above.
Trump Tower in Iceland. Come on.
Yeah, right. But a lot of this is saber-rattling, because what he's doing is he does stuff that's so outlandish that the outlandishness then becomes almost normalcy. But it's the magician in the tarot doing something over here to take away, so people won't see what he's trying to do over here.
Right. Or it's so outrageous that then he gets through what he really wanted to get through.
Right. Exactly. Russia's got its hand in the Canadian election as well, and that's going to come to the forefront. So I just hope Canada gets a replacement for Trudeau, who's more for labor and who is that charismatic kind of fiery leader, other than the ultra-right. So will T be sworn in? The answer, yes, I see it. I've seen it all along.
I'll answer it this way. I'll be swearing.
Well, and that's another reason why I'm sad, is because of this election that I really am convinced Kamala won. But I had said publicly that when Biden stepped down, I think I said it on Kevin's channel, I was fearful that the Democrats had just handed the election to Donald Trump. And I kept saying, my guides kept telling me, we don't have this election in the bag. Trump could easily win. What I do see in the future is a lot more coming about Russia's interference and passing legislation so that BS like that doesn't happen again.
Oh, I agree 100%. And also, what I've been picking up is, even though he quote unquote gets in, he's not there for long. I've never felt that.
I don't see him finishing out his term.
I've always said, for the last 2 years, you got to be alive to be a president.
I don't see him finishing out his 2 years. In fact, people are worried what happens if J.D. Vance becomes president. Over the midterms, I see the Democrats taking back over the House and the Senate. And there's going to be that fiery leader I'm talking about. Behind closed doors, I think right now, they're just kind of like billiard balls bumping into each other, but they're all lining up and coming up with strategic plans to take back over the House and the Senate.
The Dems are being quiet, but they're doing a lot of working behind the scenes.
And so are some moderate Republicans, by the way.
Yeah. But they're going to take over the House. They're going to take over the Senate. And J.D. Vance will be, worthless.
Thank you. All right. Jen XYZ says, what do you feel about Trump renaming the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America? Will it happen? Today was the first I'd heard of it. But
Mexico may have something to say about this.
Right. Well, he can officially say that
from American maps, but nobody's going to recognize it.
Correct. Mexico shares part of that Gulf. And so maybe they should call it
the Gulf of Biden.
I'm sorry?
The Gulf of Biden.
Wouldn't that be good? He can try to rename it on maps. And you know what? If that happens, whatever I want everybody to do is get a map and hang on to it, because it'll be a collector's item.
I was going to say, put it on eBay in about 5 years.
But because once he's gone, it will be recalled. It won't. The maps will be changed back to the Gulf of Mexico.
The Gulf of LOL.
I'm sorry. Say again.
The Gulf of LOL. Laughing out loud.
I know it. I think Aiden said before we got started, we were chatting, and he said, it really is racist, and it is.
It is.
And he's giving a wink and a nod to all this racism. So, I think, here again, saber-rattling. He's doing things so outlandish, and he's playing to the xenophobia, Anyway, I'm just nervous about Ukraine, but I can tell you right now, Zelensky and the Ukrainians will not stop fighting.
Well, isn't today their Christmas?
Well, depends. I think January 6th or 7th is the Feast of the Epiphany. It's Little Christmas, but some Orthodox religions celebrate it on, I think, the 6th or the 7th. I forget.
Okay. Yeah.
But not all Orthodox do.
No, but happy Merry Christmas to whatever.
Merry Christmas. Cockatiel Artie says, hi, Mel and Arthur.
My cousin.
Did you see the snowball fight in D.C. on the 6th? Any spiritual messages behind that? Also, what do you see for South Korea? I did not see what about the snowball?
The snowball fight, actually, Adam Moxler covered it on his channel. It was actually kind of sweet. It was just, he was comparing to January 6th 4 years ago, with all the Democrats were having a fun time having a snowball fight in front of, they were just having fun and laughing and giggling. And even though, quote unquote, they lost, it still showed the sportsmanship and just the people. And as far as South Korea, they're going to stabilize. The whole thing with the president was over, basically. If you really look at the details about his wife in a handbag. So, that's all it was. And so
it's probably either coming from Russia, coming from, North Korea to try to weaken South Korea. I still see South Korea being South Korea. At some point, I see Kim Jong-un gone. I see Putin gone. It's going to take a while. But I think that if the snowball fight was just, it's about fun.
Yeah, it was a joy to watch.
So who's trying to make something of it? I don't get it.
I don't know. Well, somebody's asking any spiritual message behind that. It wasn't a snowball fight against Democrats and Republicans, or they're saying, stop, it's a steal. They were just having fun.
I just think that at the end of the day, with all this craziness is going to go on, and it's going to get chaotic over the next 2 years, really crazy chaotic. I think that it's about, let's don't forget to laugh and don't forget our voices.
Mm-hmm.
So there we go. I'm seeing that there's already a split with the MAGAs with this whole Elon Musk thing.
Oh, Prime Minister Musk?
Yeah, right. But I see a huge rift coming because MAGA's already starting to not like him. And I keep saying, my guys keep showing me a huge brouhaha between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. So
I don't think you need to be a psychic to know that's coming down, because if you look at Trump, eventually everything erodes.
Good point. Spirit animal, do you see Elon Musk trying to interfere in the Canadian elections in March? He's already trying.
He's trying there. He's trying in Great Britain. He's trying in Germany.
I see a lot of these countries passing legislation to keep that from happening. Elon Musk wants to control the world, but he's, for a while, it looks as if he'll win a few battles, but he will not win the war. His wings are going to be clipped.
Yeah.
So King Elon will be dethroned.
Trump's ETM. Not ATM, ETM.
Auntie Vaughn. Hi, Auntie. When the S hits the fan, will Musk spill the bean on the tangerine toddler? Well, I think it'll be more the tangerine toddler vilifying Musk.
But Musk has to be in the country in order to do that, doesn't
he? Yeah, right. Well, I mean, once he's expelled from here, there's no country that's going to want him.
He'll buy his own.
Oh, he can try. But it's funny. I see the Trump empire crumbling, and I also see the Musk empire crumbling.
I forget who said it, but
when it crumbles, it's going to crumble fast.
This also reminds me of 4 years ago when Trump first, or 8 years ago, 2016, when Trump first got in. Shakespeare in the Park did Julius Caesar. And they had Julius Caesar dressed as Trump. The red tie, the suit. And they got that squashed so fast. Now, if I think if they were to redo it, it'd be sellout.
I love it. Virgo Saab says 45 announced today Arab Hussein Sajwani will invest $20 billion into U.S. data centers. Well, they still are data. I'm sure they'll get their hands on it, and I'm sure they'll try to. And they'll get a lot of data, but at some point, after 2 years, they won't be able to get by with it.
What, they're going to let an Arab come in and not the Chinese with TikTok?
There you go. All right. Sherry Williams, a lot of chaos and damage can be done in the 18 months. What's to stop another election sabotaging in 18 months?
They know how they did it. They know how it was done. They've got guardrails in place. That's what I'm seeing.
I still see the Democrats taking things back over.
Overwhelmingly.
The Senate. That's right.
Because there'll be a lot of people in the House that'll be taking the fifth in the next 2 years.
Hi, Kathy Reagans. How are you? Hello, wonderful Aloha duo. Do you both see a public announcement that there was election interference? What do you see, Arthur?
It depends if it's an odd or even day because they get different answers on it. But for months, I was seeing before the 20th that Biden, I kept on seeing Biden giving a speech to the nation with 5 people standing in back of him with one of the guys being the head of NATO. I don't know if that's wishful thinking, but that's what I kept on picking up. However, last night, I had a dream where I was at the Capitol, and you know how they have all the everybody in the Congress line up and take their picture and all that kind of stuff. And there was a huge sinkhole. It just was like sucking them in. And the only ones that were still standing and floating in the air were all the Democrats. So that's all I'm going to say.
I kind of, I see just like in 2016 when Trump supposedly won, which he didn't because there was so much interference. I'm feeling that somebody like Rachel Maddow or some investigative reporters, and I still see some whistleblowers coming forward that and investigations to have proof positive that there was interference in the elections. And so that's going to come out again.
Well, that's the one thing I like about Jimmy Carter, because his Carter Center was about election interference. And they asked him what he thought about Trump in 2016. And he said the Russians got him in. And then the guy says, "Are you saying he's illegitimate?" He goes, "Well, I can't go back on what I just said."
I love Jimmy Carter when they asked him about gay marriage. And they brought up the whole idea of the born again Christian thing. He said there's nothing in the scriptures about it in the New Testament. And he was just a champion of human rights. He was
until he couldn't do it anymore. He was teaching Sunday school.
Right. I mean, he got a raw deal kind of, when he became president, after Gerald Ford and, then all that huge interest rates went sky high. He had a good foreign policy, but he did bring peace between Israel and Egypt. And that, he made a lot of accomplishments. He was an excellent, excellent president, in my opinion. I think Bill Clinton was too.
The other thing was the
hostage looking good. W's looking good when you compare it to Trump. But go ahead, Arthur. You were saying something.
I didn't interrupt you. No, I was going to say, but when the hostage situation happened, and they released the hostages when Reagan took office, people don't forget. They forget that the deals to get those guys released was already in place. Reagan did not get them released. It was Jimmy Carter that got them released. It's from what I can remember and what I read. So,
Ronald.
And of course, I always say Jimmy Carter. One of the first things he did is put solar panels in the White House. Ronald Reagan gets in, he ripped them out.
I heard Jimmy Carter say that had the Iranians harmed any of the American hostages, he would stand ready to use small-scale nuclear weapons. So I think he really would have.
Yeah.
And I think that, with that whole thing, I think George W. Bush, I think he used some small-scale nuclear devices. They didn't say anything about it, but I think he did.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Okay, Peggy said, will Jack Smith's report be released?
Eventually.
Thank you. Eileen Cannon will try to squelch it, but there's going to be...
Things are going to be leaked.
Just like when Trump was supposedly president before, things were leaking like a sieve, and that's exactly what's going to happen this time. It is going to be released. She can try to squash it, and she might look as if she succeeded. But I pulled a card. I pulled the 5 of Hearts, which is the moon. It's exposure of secrets. So the answer is yes, it will be released. But I agree with Arthur. It's going to be through whistleblowers and through leaks and backdoor channels.
Yeah, it's going to be like coming out of a colander, like Rudy Giuliani's liver.
And then they're going to say that was a good one. Then they're going to say that, it wasn't true. It was made up, blah, blah, blah. It'll be true. By the way, Rudy Giuliani, my feeling is Trump will pardon him. So,
yeah, but some of this stuff is state. It's not federal.
I see, I see Trump pardoning Giuliani. So anyway, I was going to say something. I forgot what it was.
Sorry.
Oh, I want to say hi to Lisa Foster. She's in the house. Hi, Lisa.
Hi, Lisa.
I want to say thank you for our moderators for the past year. They've been incredible. We couldn't do this without them. So thank you very much.
And if you want to know what a moderator does, Russian bot. Moderator.
They were the workers behind the scenes who, check on the comments and who put things up. Hello, Kevin. I think Kevin's going to be on my channel Thursday evening live. So I'll look forward to that. And so anyway. Okay. J/Melissa says, why didn't Biden use his immunity to stop this? To stop what?
You mean get SEAL?
I'm sorry, say again.
To get the Navy SEAL Team 6 to put out Trump? He's a gentleman. He's not like that.
Well, he could say that he would try to stop it, but there's only, even though they're very powerful, there is a limit to some of their powers. So,
well, except when Trump's concerned.
Well, but still. He tried to stop the last election, and look what happened. T. Lynn says, what is happening with animals? Recent warnings about owls aggressively diving at people in Washington state. Coyote attacked little boy in Tahlequah mama orca pushing another dead baby orca. I think climate change. I think their cycles are off. But I think another thing is we are honing in on their territories, and we're taking their habitats, and they're wild animals. To them, we're just another wild animal. So I don't think that wild animals are turning against humans. I just think because we're invading their habitats and the climate change, and they're hungry. So naturally they're going to go for a food source. That's what I pick up.
Yeah, this is not Alfred Hitchcock's The Birds.
Right.
And as far as that orca, if I remember correctly, this is the second time she lost a child, or lost one of her babies. So that's why it was pushing it around in grief. So
orcas don't do well in captivity, nor do dolphins. When you see those dorsal fins kind of flop over, they're in a swimming pool, and they need to be out in the ocean. I understand with saving them, but they need to have bigger enclosures for these animals. I just saw a thing on Yes Theory about what they do is they step out of comfort zones and they'll go to the most remote village in the world. Or one of them, they went to this place in California and spent a couple of days with this organization that saves wolves, and wolves are endangered, and wolf dogs, and it was talking about that. So I went on and I put a donation for this organization. I forget the name of it, but next YouTube show I'll bring it up. But we're encroaching on their territory, and wolves. Trump, they were on the endangered list. Trump took them off. In one state, there was 1,500. They were going to reduce it to 150. So we all need to speak up about climate change, because that is the biggest existential threat to us. And we need to speak up about saving animals as well.
Yes. I agree 100%.
Christian Martinez, nice picture of Lincoln. You go, Christian. Yay, Lincoln. Trump compares himself to Lincoln. Lincoln is so mad about that.
Yeah, he compares himself after Lincoln leaves the outhouse.
Right? No, before.
No, it's what he left behind, and then he...
Oh, I got it. Okay. Christian Martinez says, hi, folks. Great seeing you. Trump got certified, but do you see him being kicked out and Harris gets in? I don't see that. I'm sorry. I never did.
Well, he's certifiable.
Right?
I'm not sure. Like I said, odd or even day.
I see Sherry in the house. Voices from the swamp. Hi, Sherry. How are you? Okay, I'm not going to answer this question about Melissa about an assassination attempt. I just, for purposes of YouTube and stuff like that, I'm not going to go.
You're not going to go there.
Yeah, I don't want to get demonetized. Angelica Sakaguchi. Will President Biden finally pardon Leonard Peltier? What do you think?
Remind me, who's Leonard Peltier?
I think he was that Indian, a Native American, who was falsely accused. I do see a pardon for him, and Angelica. I just don't know when, but I do see him being pardoned.
I'll say I agree with that, even though I don't know who the parties are.
Right. Okay. Kathy Reagans. Hello, fabulous Aloha duo. Do you both see a very small crowd for the orange minion during his inauguration? How do you really feel, Kathy? Well, to hear him tell it, I've got the biggest inauguration crowd in history, I'm feeling like he's just going to bust people in.
Well, also, yeah, from the border, but also that's why he's having the thing on the night before, so he can say, "Oh, everybody came to my rally the night before." And
because I think the women are going to march, the day before, and so he can say, "Look, I had more people than that march," and blah blah blah. I still see him busing people in and giving them a little stipend. But the sad part is then once he buses them in, they're going to have to pay.
Yeah, how's it going to get back? I bet you this is something he has Ginny Thomas arranging or something.
Right.
He busts them in for Jan 6.
Okay. Magical Mermaid says, will those Tesla bots be as dangerous as their vehicles? I don't know what the Tesla bots are. But, Elon Musk is trying to get that legislation passed about, if his vehicles, something goes wrong with them, that, that he's not liable for that. But even if he tries to get that legislation pushed through, there are loopholes around it. So I don't know what.
Are they going to be dangerous?
But I think that they will be dangerous. The answer is yes. It's very simple. I get to choose what vehicle I want to buy.
Oh, it's the robots that like the Kardashians have.
I know.
The only time they're going to show up in my house is if it's named Rosie. That's it.
And I can just choose not to buy those products.
Yeah.
Let's see, Robert Hartman. Hi, Robert. Hi, Mel. What you were saying with Linda G, was it Jasmine Crockett? You're probably thinking. I don't remember exactly what I was saying, so you might have to put it in the comments. I don't. Okay. Susie Zuki says, do you seek new ways to market your wares? I don't know. Do you get that, Arthur? Brenda Rockestraw says, I feel this is no longer a democratic union. When will we get back to the American Union we love? Well, at least half of us feel that we do have that democratic union. I think Stephen just went off. Give me 1 second here. He's calling me. Oh, I don't know what happened, but we lost Stephen. So, Aiden, if you're still behind the scenes, if you can pull some strings, that would be great. Hello? There we go. Robert Hartman. Oh, you told Linda G about a Democratic woman flipping to a Republican. I see. I probably think the answer to that is yes. I can't recall what I was talking about, but I'm hearing a yes. All right. Patty D said, when Trump goes to Carter's funeral, will he do something so that the attention will turn to him? He is going to try to get the attention to turn to him. The answer to that is yes. But my feeling is that he will not be successful with it. So that's how I'm picking it up. Will any of Trump's shady dealings come out at all? Yes, yes, and yes, absolutely. Okay, that ding you hear was Stephen Viens, was Arthur texting me saying that they just lost power. So that's why he was disconnected. I hope the power comes back on. I'll continue with the show. And Arthur, if your power comes back on, isn't it funny that at the beginning of the show, Arthur and I were both talking about doing a show solo. And I said, yeah, I'm going to start doing that. And I said, I'll get maybe Aiden behind the scenes to pull the strings. I never thought I would be this soon. So I guess I'm flying alone here by the seat of my pants. All right, Aiden, if you're still with us, I'm going to put up a question from Teacher Barbara. Hi, Teacher Barbara. And if I've already answered these, just let me know. Aiden is behind the scenes putting these up. Teacher Barbara, I saw an article stating that Dumpty won't rule out using military force to take over Panama, Greenland, and Canada. How can he do that? Will Congress approve of such a thing? It seems absolutely absurd. Excuse me 1 second. I've got to take this call. We'll see. Hello? Hello? Yes, this is Arthur telling me that they lost power completely. Yes, I got your text and I've already told them. And I'm still live. So as I'm talking to you, they can't hear you, but they're hearing what I'm saying to you, Arthur. Okay. All right. I got to go on with the show. All right. Hi, Aiden. I see Aiden here.
Hi, guys. Oh, my gosh.
Let me put Teacher Barbara back up.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, I think a lot of that is saber-rattling, like we said before. You know, he forgets that Canada has an army, too, so they will fight back. You know, he said something about, I think, Norway and the fjords or something. Norway, I'm sorry. Oh, Arthur's back. Anyway, he said something about Norway and, you know, I think, is it Norway? No, it's Denmark. Whoever has something over Greenland.
Denmark.
And, yeah. And so he said to the Danes, like, I want Greenland. And they didn't say no. I don't think they knew what to say. But then when he says he'll trade Puerto Rico, I don't think it's going to be that easy. I mean, it would get tied up in court and all of that. So, and as far as military force over Canada, but he did say something. He said that Trudeau was nothing more than a governor of Canada, and
Right.
I take that as a slam to the UK because Canada is its own country, but I think on the money it still has the Queen or something. But that was a slam to the UK. But he kind of started that whole ball rolling, and he knew that Trudeau was losing favor, and he just added fuel to that fire.
Mm-hmm.
But I still see he's not going to attack Canada, and if he does, Canadians will fight back. It's not going to be pretty. But I don't put anything past him, Barbara, because Putin invaded Ukraine, so now Donald Trump thinks he can do that to other places. But I think some of it's just saber rattling. Anyway, Arthur, welcome back.
Thank you for the moment.
Okay.
I feel like I'm here on borrowed time.
Helen Rezhutko says, here's a great question. I read that Musk biographer has been following Musk and says that Musk is going crazy. Seems that mental illness runs in the family. Is he using drugs? Is he insane? I'm not going to answer that about his mental capacity because I'm not a doctor, or if he's using drugs.
Well, he's on ketamine. He's smoking ketamine on podcasts.
I do think that, or I intuit, okay, that he is very power hungry and will stop at nothing to gain more power. But I keep seeing his empire crumbling. For the record, insane is a legal term. It's not a psychological one. Insane just means if a person is mentally fit to stand trial. Is he a little cray-cray? Absolutely, yes.
No, but like I said, there was a podcast he was doing. He's just smoking away on ketamine. It was like, dude.
Well, we don't know if he was smoking that, so we have to be.
No, he actually said it was ketamine that he was smoking.
Okay.
Yeah, it's. I'm not making it. It's actually he admitted to using ketamine and LSD.
So let's. Okay.
So let's see if they, if it wasn't for Trump, he wouldn't be able to get a security clearance.
Okay. Julia Newell says, can you ask your guys about the MAGA civil war that's happening online? Well, we've touched on that briefly already tonight with the MAGAs, kind of split about this whole Elon Musk thing. And there's going to be huger rifts within the MAGA movement itself. What do you think, Arthur? Or what do you see?
I keep on getting from my guides. They're becoming a circular firing squad, so let them go at it. Let them cannibalize each other.
Oh, here's a good one. This is a good one by Joan Baker. Well, Eileen Loose Cannon, Aileen, I think is how it's pronounced, be in trouble for halting the release of Jack Smith's report. She has no authority to tell the DOJ not to release it. The 11th Circuit Court has control of the case now. What do you intuit, Arthur?
Well, I feel she's saying that because the two other people involved the case has not been dismissed for them. So that's the guys. She's not in trouble. I mean, I always saw after all this is dead and done, I don't see her going to the Supreme Court. And, more like, I don't know.
Well, I think that the 11th Circuit Court will overturn her, but I think part of it is just trying to delay it and delay it and delay it. So when Trump gets in, he can say we're not going to release it, and because he'll put a new attorney general in there, they'll say no, we're not going to release it. But he doesn't take office until when? The 18th. So I mean, we still have time. I see it coming out. I see it coming public. We've said that before tonight. So
one way or another, it's coming out.
One way or another. Okay, Aiden, if you're behind the scenes, you can start putting up some more questions.
Thanks for stepping in, Aiden.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Kathy Reagan says, when the orange minion is president and the economy goes south, do you see the government sending out stimulus checks to help to balance the economy? Donald Trump will not do that.
Actually, Biden tried to get stimulus checks before he leaves. So if we get any stimulus checks in 2025, Trump had absolutely nothing to do with it. Remember
Correct.
that.
I do see a stimulus check, but it's because of what Biden did, not Trump.
Yeah, exactly.
And prices are already going up, and Trump has promised to bring them down.
Groceries. It's all about groceries.
But groceries are going to go much higher,
especially with tariffs.
I still see people traveling. Don't be afraid not to travel. But it's very simple. When these grocery stores are price gouging and certain products are going sky high, don't buy those products.
Go to farmers markets if possible.
Well, it's kind of impossible in Chicago this time of year. But
I said if possible.
Okay, Tonari says, I will try again. I don't know when you tried the first time, but will Judge Merchan's sentence on the 10th, or we have to push it out again? I think we answered that. I see. I don't know if the sentence.
They might try and get a delay on it, but the bottom line is he's getting convicted. He's getting sentenced.
Well, he's already been convicted.
I mean, he's getting a sentence.
I don't think that if he dismisses the charges, I'll be very surprised. I keep seeing a stay of the sentencing. So, which just means it puts it on hold for a while. But ultimately, I see him sentenced. I could be wrong, but that's what.
No, I'm gonna agree with Magnificent Mel.
I don't know how magnificent I am, but all right. Trevor Neal says, "What is the point of all these drones up in the sky? Is it to have us more aware of the sky?" No, I tend to think, I don't know what, I think that there's intelligence that the Pentagon is holding back about that. I think they might have been spy drones or something. That's what I pick up.
When I did a show, I picked up what somebody asked the same thing basically, and I said the drones were there's something about atomic energy, something atomic, and then they found what they needed, then they left.
Right.
So
Just like that balloon the Chinese sent here, and then we shot it down. They got mad because we shot it down. Hello, it was over our airspace. You were spying.
Either that, it's when you're on YouTube and you see all these ads for get this drone today.
Yeah, right. Oh boy. Okay. All right. Will George Santos be sentenced to jail on his court date in February? I see a continuance on it, but I do see him getting sentenced to jail. Now, some of you might ask, will Trump pardon him? Well, maybe on a few things, but, a lot of the Republicans are going to say, no, we want him.
Well, especially when he took one of his other Republicans' mother's charge card and charged it.
But the hypocrisy of that is Trump did so much worse.
Yeah.
And, it might look for a while that Trump is going to be free of all these charges and nothing's going to happen. But remember this, Trump will have to face justice and he will have to pay the piper.
Yeah.
So
as far as George Santos, someone get in the script to Bialystok and Bloom's Prisoners of Love.
Say it again.
And the producers at the very end, they all go to jail and they start a musical called Prisoners of Love. So,
there you go. What was the name of that? I love that play in the movie. What was it? The Producers, wasn't it?
The Producers, yeah.
Yeah,
the first one was Zero Mostel and Gene Wilder, right. Mel Brooks.
I saw it on stage. I saw the movie. I've seen it so many times.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, Karen Hunter. Will the FBI ever release the tapes of Trump's that Epstein had in his safe? The answer is yes. And they are going to be pretty revealing. I pulled the 9 of spades, and it just means the presence of a mighty enemy. And Trump will try to squash it for a while, but he won't succeed.
I see cans of mushroom soup. Never mind.
Okay. Aiden reads Tarot. If your question hasn't been answered, please keep asking. All right. Do we have any?
What are tomorrow's lot of numbers? No. Just
innocent potato, or is it potato? I don't know.
you say potato, I say potato.
You say tomato, I say tomato. MAGA Mike. Oh, I love it. MAGA Mike. Ooh, MM. I like that. MAGA Mike made a mistake at a speech at the Capitol when Jimmy Carter was being honored. He called Carter a lieutenant in the Army. He was in the Navy, Mike. It's like, okay, there.
You can't make this stuff up.
Okay, MAGA Mike, do your homework. He probably thought that he was. He probably thought he was in the Army. I think Jimmy Carter's really laughing that MAGA Mike is giving a speech for Jimmy Carter. It's like, what?
And just in case Dan Quayle's watching, potato spelled right.
Remember that? Peace and love. Oh, I like that. Did Tina Peters in jail for election interference? Isn't that a kick? She's in jail for election interference when there should be a lot of people in jail for election interference. Like,
she didn't rewrite the code, but she gave access to other people.
Right, exactly. And I see really legislation cracking down to prevent that from happening again. Sheila Treasure Finder. Anything done to prevent cheating in elections in countries? Yes, there's going to be a lot more. Look at what country was it that it was Romania.
Yes,
when they found out there was an interference. They said election null. Got to redo it. So a lot of these countries are really going to start legislating and putting safeguards in place to keep Russian interference and other countries' interference out. And it's going to come a lot coming to the public forefront. A lot of this coming public about how Russia and China and the whole BRIC thing, the BRIC, be Brazil, Russia, India, China, South Africa, how they have interfered in elections, but also behind the scenes, how certain wealthy people have paid under the table to influence election. This past election here was as corrupt as the day is long. So
it's just how the Russians and Chinese do it. It's like, by 11 o'clock we'll have it done. And it took 3 days before they announced Biden was president.
Right. So what do you think they're going to, I see a lot being done in foreign countries to prevent cheating in elections.
Yeah.
If they're legitimate countries. I mean, hi, Mark. How are you? Yay. What will happen to marriage equality in the next 4 years? That is a very, very, very good question. They're all good questions.
It may look like it's I'm just going to psychically what I'm getting, maybe on the chopping block, but it ain't going to happen.
They'll start picking at it. And if they say they kick it back to the states, that means those of us who are already married stay married. But if they kick it back to the states, and here's what I see happening, there's going to be some states that would refuse to grant marriage licenses to gay couples. They're going to sue, take it to the Supreme Court, and the Trumpian court would probably say, oh, well, we'll kick that back to the states. Just like,
we're not going to look at it.
Or we're not going to look at it. But even if that happens, but Biden put things in place to codify gay marriage. It wasn't enough as far as I'm concerned. So they have to operate within certain parameters.
Yeah. Because in California here, they had gay marriage and then they voted against it. Because if you vote on the ballot 8, if you voted yes, it meant no. If you voted no, it meant yes. It was so confusing. And they got rid of gay marriage for a while. And then the people that had been married could stay married, but nobody else could get married. Okay.
Proposition 8 or something.
Yeah. 8.
Well, I think that,
I don't see that. I don't see a replay of that is what I'm trying to say.
Well, they're going to try to mess with it. But at some point, once T. Rump is out, I see a new court and I see more justices, and I've said this before, and I see the court coming back to center, and a lot of these corrupt justices, at least 2 or 3 being impeached. So
Can we make Viagra illegal? That would really get them stirred, wouldn't it?
oh, it would. Norm Gilbert, I like this. This is so good, Norm. You know what, Norm, for this one, you win a free half-hour session. I love this. Just call my office at the number below. Drones were looking for intelligent life, didn't see any, and left.
They were in New Jersey. Sorry, New Jersey.
I love it. That was good, Norm. That was a tough one. Okay, Patty D. Will Biden forgive student loans before he leaves office? Well, doesn't he have to have approval of Congress for that or something?
He's done several things to get that to happen.
Okay, I'm sorry. You know what? I don't know how to turn notifications off. I thought I had them off, but because I don't.
Oh, I thought that was your light bulb going off.
That too. I think he'll try to forgive more, but
He'll do what he can. But when Trump gets in, he's not going to then send you a bill. Oh, we paid it, but we got to pay it back now.
No, I don't see that. Okay. Jackie Lynn, question: can we travel back in time like Quantum Leap, Life, Back to the Future? Unfortunately, no.
If that were the case, I would have come back and bitch slapped me a long time ago.
If that were the case, I'd come back and, well, I don't know what I'd do over. I'd probably make the same mistakes again, but no. According to Einstein, we can move into the future, but we can't go back. It's kind of, well, can we? I don't know. There was one, I remember somebody saying, like, if you shot a spaceship off the Earth to a planet a light year away,
mm-hmm.
and if you were going at the speed of light or faster than the speed of light when you got there, and you took off again at the same speed, and you were coming back to Earth, you'd meet yourself in the middle because you're going at the speed of light, and you'd see yourself halfway. It's weird stuff, but I love it. It's fascinating. Jackie Frazier, will felons be able to vote now since we have a felon and rapist as a president? Oh, they're not going to want felons to vote. Absolutely not.
They'll just put them in Congress.
Thank you. They can be voted in, but they can't vote.
They can't vote.
Well, I think they'll kick it back to the states and let the state decide. But in the federal elections under Trump, they're going to say, no way, you can't do that. I'm not a felon. I was convicted unfairly. It was a witch hunt. Right. Okay. Carrie G says, just announced medical debt cannot be on your credit report. Oh,
that's been for a while there. That's on the books. Yeah.
I didn't know that. Well, that's a good thing, because I think Trump might try to change that. But, people who have had to file bankruptcy for medical debt, when I had my cancer, I kept getting bills and I paid them over time. And so I'm thinking, wait a minute, something's not right. And I started checking and I called them. They owed me money. It took them forever to refund my money. But boy, when they wanted theirs, they took it every month.
They're like a Hoover vacuum cleaner. Exactly.
Suck them dry. Grandma Sharon says, is 2025 a good year to start drinking?
What? Sterno?
Yes, water. Oh, I'm sorry. You might have to distill it because it might not be clean, because Trump's going to roll back a lot of environmental protection.
But you know what W.C. Fields said? I don't drink water. Fish F in it.
Just don't drink the water from Flint, Michigan. Thank you. Cindy Lou says, do you see a pandemic during Dumpty's rule? If so, does he drop the ball again? I don't see another pandemic. I'm not. What do you think? What do you see, Arthur?
Intuitively, I've been telling people to wear masks. Seriously. Then again, I have bad lungs, so but then in the air quality in Los Angeles, they've been, for the last 2 weeks, has been warnings.
Well, he's going to try to roll back Clean Air Act, Clean Water Act, a lot of environmental protections that we have.
Yeah, that's only where he walks, though.
But I see them put back in place at some point.
Yeah.
Helen Ooh,
No.
Reshutko. Will Eric Adams win a second term for mayor of New York City?
I don't get it.
I'm sorry?
I don't feel he will.
All right. I'm not picking up anything on it, to be honest with you. I guess that means I don't know.
I love Lisa Foster here. She says, will there be a shortage of popcorn?
You're not going to believe this. I'm probably one of the only people on the planet that doesn't like popcorn. And the reason why is when I was in high school, I had a job. It was called the cinemas. And there was cinemas 1, 2, 3, and 4, all under one roof. Got to see the free movies. But on Saturdays, I would work. And what would they do? They would put me in the popcorn room. And I didn't have money a lot of times to go across the street to the Kingfish and buy a fish sandwich. And they'd be eating. I'd be so hungry. So what did I do? I had popcorn all day because I was popping it. Well, needless to say, I got burnt out on popcorn. So they can keep it.
No.
Will T try to have Kamala arrested? No. Just like when he was running against Hillary, he was like, well, if I was president, you'd be in jail. Remember that? And yet he's everything he accused her of is everything he did. So he's just, he's just saber-rattling. I'm gonna, this one's gonna be arrested. This one's gonna be. No.
He's the projector in chief.
Oh, I like that. I call him the DIC. Don't say it. We'll go to YouTube jail. Dictator in chief. The DIC.
Dumb, idiotic, and cuckoo.
The director, the dictator in chief.
Yeah.
Nora Garcia. Will Mark Cuban develop a Facebook rival? Ooh. I hear a yes to that, something like that, and it's going to be huge. Remember there used to be MySpace, and then Facebook came along and kind of swallowed all that up? I'm hearing yes. And I had predicted that a lot of these social media outlets that, people like Musk are buying out, or other people that will buy to try to change what they're doing, then there'll be a lot of new ones started. Like after Twitter became X, what was the new one they started?
Blue
Sky or something.
Yeah.
So what do you intuit, Arthur? Do you think that?
I think Mark Cuban has something else up his sleeve. The rival face. It'll be different than Facebook completely.
Mark Cuban should run for president. But I do see something like that.
And he knows where the bodies are buried.
Right. What did I hear about Facebook today about fact checking?
Oh, they're getting rid of the fact checking. So they said fact checking is censorship.
So in other words, anybody can put up anything? Well, that's kind of dangerous because, where Trump used to use X, now he's got his own platform. Then he's going to go on Facebook and start posting a bunch of crap.
Well, thank you, Mark Zuckerberg.
Right, I know. I don't know whose side Zuckerberg is on.
His own.
Thank you.
Both. Wherever he can make money.
Right.
I mean, all these oligarchs giving millions and millions of dollars to Trump for his inauguration. And remember the first one, when, $20 million was missing.
Bingo. But I do see that there's going to be social media outlets where they do fact check. And the reason he's going to stop fact checking is because they can use it to spread misinformation.
Exactly.
But when they get sued out the yin yang for that, and these people suing will win, then they'll think twice.
I don't know. I still keep bleach under the sink just in case I get COVID again.
Yeah, or a light. Remember that?
Yeah.
All right, we got time for a few more. Aiden has ran out of questions, at least the ones he caught. Okay. Anyway, this has been a lot of fun. We did go a little bit over because Arthur lost power. And wasn't that prophetic, though? We were talking about doing shows solo, and all of a sudden it's like, where's Arthur?
Exit stage right. It was the rapture. They told me to go back.
All right. So Wednesday night, I take a break. Thursday night, Kevin Chandler will be on my channel. I'm going to start doing morning moments with Mel. Aiden and I are talking about for my members, and I'm starting a membership drive. We'll do Aloha Oracle for my members. We'll answer your personal questions and all that stuff. And so, infomercial. I have openings for Peru and for Iceland next year. Peru, September, Iceland's October. Join us. Arthur?
Infomercial.
Yes.
Arthur, Ease Your Mind on iTunes, Spotify, Amazon. All My Guided Meditations, all 16 are up now.
Yay.
Mhm.
All right. Everybody go purchase them. Everybody thumbs.
And tomorrow I'm with Cool Crone doing a meditation with lots of people. Thursday, doing a show with Linda, taping it. And then Thursdays with my members. And then, and other shows. So check my calendar. I don't even know what I have, but it's on the calendar.
There you go. All right. I don't even have
Next week with this gentleman, whatever side you're on. But
where do you put your calendar on your community page? I'm curious.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
I just do it by the seat of my pants. I call Aiden the night before I text him, Aiden, could you do this?
If I don't write it down, I won't do it.
Welcome,
I'll find an excuse.
welcome to my world.
That's why you write nothing down.
I'm organized in my mind.
Yeah, but I've lost mine. So
Everybody, Happy New Year. Thank you for your loving support.
and like, share, subscribe, leave comments on Mel's, and do the same with me, please. It helps our algorithms.
This has been a lot of fun. And Aiden, thank you. He's behind the scenes.
Thanks, Braden.
He manages my YouTube channel. He's great at it. And all right. So, Arthur, next Tuesday, your channel live.
Better than dead. So yeah, live.
Might as well say Tuesday nights is our channel. We just alternate back and forth.
Yeah.
All righty. So,
Thank you, everyone.
thank you for
Thank
your
you, Mel.
support, everybody.
Thank you, Aiden.
New Year. Stay safe, stay well, and stay warm. It's really cold in Chicago. So,
And stay bolted down. It's really windy in Los Angeles.
there
I
you
think I saw Andy M on a rocker chair, or was that Sister Bertrell? I'm not sure.
go. The Flying Nun. Remember that? I love that show. All righty. I got to run. Bye bye.
Bye-bye.